Hey everyone, it's Nick with Us versus Herd. If it's your first time here, hit that subscribe button. If you want to get notifications from when we go live or when we post videos, hit the bell button. If you're not yet a member of our options trading group or Discord, we have links below. We'd love to have you join our UVH fam. Great community, a lot of friendly people in there, so hopping in there. What I want to talk about today is leaving profits on the table. In this market, everyone, and I mean everyone, is leaving profits on the table or having profits and then going to a loss. I mean, the market is extremely volatile. You know, we're having huge dips, pretty big rips, but mostly dips right now. But it definitely fakes you out in terms of how the stocks are moving. I'm going to provide a couple of examples. You know, if you're a beginner and you're like, oh, if I only did this, or if I only did that, or, you know, even if you're experienced, or even if you're an experienced type of trader, you know, the market this week, I'm not usually an emotional trader. I don't usually show a lot of emotion. I've done a lot of things to kind of discipline, to kind of bottle that up and not get emotional, just move from trade to trade to trade. And typically it works for me, but even this week, the way things played out, you know, definitely had me feeling a certain type of way. When that kind of thing happens, you guys got to take a step back and just relax. I mean, we had a great week. It was a fun week, great trading week. But you know, the market's going to do what the market's going to do. It's going to fake you out. It's going to play with your emotions. And you know, one of the things as a trader, you really got to keep your emotions in check. So if you're feeling emotional about a trade or a trade that you didn't do, you know, because you didn't profit, or you were going to do it but didn't profit, you know, you didn't do it. Get over it. You know, there's another trade. Just look out for the next trade. But I want to kind of walk you through here. You know, I'm going to look at S&Ps, Tesla, and Baba. You know, as you can see, you know, this week was pretty crazy. We went from the S&P's high of 2670 to a low of 2441. So, you know, over a 200-point swing in just 5 days on the S&Ps, which is insane. But if you're going into the daily chart, I do have the 15-minute charts here. You know, kind of going into a couple of these days here, where you could definitely got faked out in terms of buying calls, or even just holding on to puts. But taking a look at these 3 days in particular, you know, we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So earlier this week, you know, we had on Monday, we had a pretty big rip up from 2570 all the way up to 2600. So within about an hour and a half, it ripped 30 points before ultimately heading lower. And there's a lot of people, you know, definitely in this area when it's ripping up, you know, loading up on calls because they think that, you know, it's going to go back up to the high 2600s. But in terms, you know, just really touched 2600 a couple times there. I think triple top, double topped here, and then ultimately went lower. So there's a lot of people saying like, oh, I should have took profits. I shouldn't have bought those calls. But then there's a lot of other people saying, you know, I should have bought more puts. I knew I should have shorted it, stuff like that. So if you're feeling like you left out, like, you know, it's happening to everyone. And then especially on this drop here, you know, from 2600 all the way down to 2530 or so, you know, as you're selling, as you had puts on here and you were shorting it, let's say you were shorting the spike here, you know, as you were shorting it, you probably took profits when it dropped from 2600 down to 2570, most likely when it was stabilizing here, as you can see in the chart. You didn't think it was going to drop another 30 points because that's back to where it started today. You're probably thinking, oh, it ripped up, probably dropped back down to where we started today. You know, probably is going to go between 2570, 2600, which is completely understandable. It ripped down 30, it went up 30 points, it ripped down 30 points, and it's completely understandable. And then people sold their puts, and then they were kind of feeling salty when it went from 2570 all the way down to almost, well, I think it did touch 2530 here, almost 2530. You know, either way, you know, it went down another 40 points after you sold, and you just saw your 100% returns or even 200% returns turn into 500, 600, 700% returns, you know, and that's just the game. You know, you have to stay disciplined, you know, definitely taking profits early, because I mean, definitely could have went down from 2600 down to 2570, and then back up to 2600, and you would have lost the profit on those puts. So being disciplined, there's nothing wrong with that. And also, you can always re-enter. You can always re-enter the market. You can always re-enter. You know, yes, you're going to lose the opportunity that you had, so you're going to have to find a new entry, which takes work. But at the same time, you're going to be able to, you know, stay disciplined and protect your profits. You know, we're not going to always be in this type of market. So this type of discipline is what you need right now. The other thing is on Tesla, if we're taking a look at Tesla, I knew I should have done it and I didn't do it. But as you can see here, Tesla hit for, if we go to the 2-year chart here. So if you're looking at the 2-year chart, I mean, this is pretty textbook, pretty simple layup that Tesla gave us. So, you know, every time it's come up in the 380 area, so 1, 2, 3, and now like 4, every time it's come up to the 380 area, it's been rejected. Every single time, you know, we've been up here, it's got rejected. And one of the things this week, I also did not short it. I had it on my radar to short it when it got up to this range, and I didn't do it, and it went from 380 all the way down to 315. So, you know, don't feel bad if the trade that you were going to put on didn't work out. I mean, worked out, and you would have made a killing. You would have made a lot of money. I know people that had puts on Tesla and sold them too early. You know, definitely is the case here. You know, it went from 380 all the way down to 315 in just 5 days. I mean, just insane. But if you're looking at the daily chart, it's not that simple. Especially if you're trading like close to expiration and you have things expiring like within the week. You know, when we have these big drops and then we have the huge rip ups, definitely is misleading. Like when you see your profit being taken away, you definitely try to protect those profits. You know, you don't think it's going to, you know, drop to 355, go back up to 365, and then go all the way back down to 345. I mean, like the market today is not that easy to read. Yes, in hindsight, yeah, it dropped a lot of points, but when you're in the middle of it, like you could say what you want, especially like let's say this chart right here. This one's crazy, you know, ripped up, then it came down a little bit, consolidated, then ripped up again, and ultimately just went down 15 points within an hour and a half. I mean, like these kind of things, and it happens really quick too. You know, this went from 340. This is a 15-minute increments. It went from 346 down to 338, back up to 345, back down to 338. Ultimately, going lower. And as you can see, like if you're holding a position in this, and you see your account fluctuating plus minus every direction, and it's going crazy, you're thinking to yourself, you could actually really lose on this position, and nobody wants to lose money, but also people tend to feel worse. For some reason, people tend to feel worse when they leave money on the table that they didn't exit. But at the same time, when you're in the thick of it, you ultimately probably, if you exited the position, you made probably a good decision, because anything can happen in the market. As you can see, anything, you know, this week being a testament, anything could happen in the market, you know, so same thing with Alibaba. Alibaba went down 100 from 153 all the way down to 132. And this morning I left some profits on the table. Let's go to the last couple days on this guy right here. Yesterday, as the market was tanking, Alibaba, like the other tech stocks were tanking, Alibaba did not. It consolidated, and then it didn't actually fall lower until we got like the Fed news. And then today it was kind of pulling the same tricks. I had the 135 put, but today's Thursday, tomorrow's Friday expiration. So theta's really accelerated right now. So as it moves away from 135, I'm losing money pretty fast. You know, today it came down, had a pretty wide range to open, went from 135 to 137. It was kind of bouncing between 135 and 137. And really the candle that got me was this one right here, when it looked like it was starting to head lower. So it touched like 137.11, came down to 136, 135, hit 135.85, and I thought that it was going to continue down towards 135. And then out of nowhere, within just minutes, it rips up from 135.86 all the way up to 137.13. And you think, well, that's not really that big of a deal. But I went from break even on the trade to down $70 just within minutes. And if you know that, if you can go, I had $1.70 in this trade. I ended up losing $72 on this, because on this bar I exited just because I know that it expires tomorrow. I was trying to conserve capital, and if I can go from break even to down $70 within minutes, you can definitely go from down 70 down to max loss. Like if this headed up, my thinking was if it headed up if it had the strength to go from 135.80 to 130 above 137, it definitely can hit 138, 139. And if that's the case, I'm definitely going to be in some trouble. We're going to be, close to max loss, and that's not something that you want to do. Like as an options trader, you don't want to go to max loss. You want to protect your account. You want to keep your account safe. So I was taking money off the table. There was I got 99 cents back out of that. So I could redeploy the capital. I didn't want to go max loss on it, but as soon as it ripped up, and I got rid of it because I thought that was going to continue, it kind of spiked a little bit here, and it looked like there was going to be some continuation. As you can see here, as this candle here is forming, and then it just got smacked down, and instead of being a $70 loser, it would have been about a $200 to $300 winner. Came all the way down to 132.91. So definitely made a mistake here, but at the same time I was doing what I thought to keep my account safe. Left a lot of profits on the table. This week, there are a lot of examples. Most traders, they exited early, and that's okay. They got the profit. They were able to go back into the market, get more profit, and that's okay. In this type of market, you're probably not going to see huge returns unless you're really holding on. But as you can see, anything can happen. Especially, it's been a hard week for longs. For shorts, those rip ups like today on SPX. Today on SPX, obviously we headed lower, but we had huge rip downs. But then within minutes, look at this 15-minute chart, went from 24.63 all the way to 24.85. Huge rip ups that definitely play with your emotions. And then we had this huge rip down, and then within 30 minutes, this was a solid hour, almost 2 hours worth of selling here from 24.85 all the way down to 24.41, and then within 30 minutes we're back up. So it definitely plays with you. You're gonna leave money. You're gonna leave money on the table. Get used to it. You're gonna leave profits on the table. You're not gonna hit your targets as you wish. I mean, it's just not going to happen, and that's okay. It's part of the game. Be thankful you're making 100%. Be thankful you're making 75%. Be thankful you're making 50%. Most traders in this market are losing money or not even making anywhere near 25 or even 30%. So be thankful for your gains. Be thankful that you're able to re-enter the market. You're always going to leave profits on the table in this type of market. You're never going to time it perfectly. So stay safe. Stay green. It's always us versus herd.